Alright, so the first division problem you have today is 985 divided by 7. So we're going to break our 985 into their place values. And what are we dividing by? 7. We're putting them into 7 groups. Okay. So what do I do first, Olivia?
You would see how far you could get to the 9, and you can only do it one, and there's 2 left over.
Okay.
And the
So
2 left over, you would move to the 8.
very good. I can put 7 things into 9 groups one time, and I would have 2 left over. So I'm going to move those 2. Now, how many 10s do I have?
28.
28. So how many times can I put 28 things into 7 groups? Christopher?
4 times.
4 times. Do I have anything left over?
No.
I heard a no and I heard a yes. Do I have anything left over, Christopher?
No, because 7 and 7 is 14, 7 is 14, 10 plus 10 is 20, and 4 plus 4 is 8.
Very good. So 4 times 7 equals 28. So I've used all 28. I don't have any left over. How many ones do I have to divide, Cash? 5. Can I put 5 things into 7 groups?
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't have enough to give every.
I just put them
Group one
as
to
a
it.
remainder.
So I have 0 ones. And what do I do with those 5, Olivia?
You put them as a remainder.
They're the remainder. So the answer to 985 divided by 7 is 140 with a remainder of 5. Okay? How could I check that? How could I check my division? What'd you say, Cash? I could multiply. What could I multiply?
You already multiplied 7 by 4.
140 times
7.
7. I can multiply. She's not here. I can multiply my quotient, which was 140, times 7. That's the number I divided by. So if I do 140 times 7, what do I do first to multiply that? What's my first step going to be, Jacob? You can multiply any way you want, any strategy.
I used long division.
We're multiplying, buddy.
You would start with the 0 and then go up from there.
Okay, so tell me what I would do.
7 times 0 would be 0.
All right. Then what?
7 times 4 would be 28.
Okay. So I'm going to write the 8 in the tens place. What do I do with the 2?
Put it in the hundreds place.
Very good. I'm going to carry it over here. The hundreds. All right, then what?
Then you would add the 2 to the 1, which would be 3. Then you multiply the 7 times the 3.
I'm going to multiply first.
7 times 1 would be 7, and then it'd be 9.
Then add 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. Okay, so that gets me 980. But I started with 985. What else do I have to do?
Add the remainder.
I have to add my remainder. So if I add 5,
That's 985.
that's 985. And that gets me the 985 I had to begin with. So our problem checks out. The correct answer is 140 with a remainder of 5. Raise your hand if you got that one right. I saw some really good scores today. Good job. All right, so let's.
It's 2 points.
We have 175 divided by 3 next. All right, so Christopher, if I have 175 to divide by 3, what do I do first?
You do 100 divided by
Okay.
1 divided by 3. You can't do that, so you just move it down to the 1.
To the tens.
10.
Okay, so I'm just gonna move that 100 over, and how many tens does that give me?
17.
17. All right. So now what are we doing?
17 divided by 3.
Okay. 3 times what gets me 15?
3 times 5.
3 times 5. So I can put 17 things into 3 groups 5 times, which would be 15 of those. How many would I have left?
2.
2. So I need to move that 2 over to my ones place. Now how many ones do I have?
25.
25. 25 divided by 3 is what? 3 times what gets me as close to 25 as I can get without going over.
7. Times 8.
Times what?
Times 8.
Okay. Why 8? Owen?
Because that gets you 24.
That gets you 24. So what's my remainder?
1.
1. So my quotient is 58 with a remainder of 1. Questions about those division problems? All right, Owen, tell us what you did to solve this next problem, comparing the numbers.
With the first one, I noticed that each one was 100,000, so I moved down, and that one didn't have a 10,000, and that one had 20,000, so I marked that, so I made the thing go that way.
Okay, so which one's bigger?
The 120,500.
Very good. So for A, we would need the less than symbol because 102,935 is less than 120,500. Very good. All right. How about this next one? 521,922 and 340,633. Scotty, how did you do that one?
Look at the 5, and I see 5 and 3, so I put the A and B.
The greater than symbol. Okay. So you said you knew that 500,000 was more than 300,000. So it would be greater than. Very good. All right. The next problem, you had an addition and subtraction problem to solve.
Yeah, I did something kind of weird on here.
Okay. So first you had addition. You had 108,382. And we needed to add 3,492.
I know what I got on the last
So, hang on just a minute, please. So if I'm adding 3,492, where does that 3,000 go? Olivia?
It would go under the 8,000.
Yeah, I've got to make sure I line those place values up. So my 3 is going to go into the thousands place, which is underneath the 8. All right, so what am I going to do to solve this, Harper?
You're gonna add I'm gonna add the 2 and 2 is 4.
Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. Then what?
8 plus 9. 17.
17. Okay, so what am I going to write?
7 and add 1.
Okay, the 7's going to go in the tens place. And what do you mean by add 1?
And carry the 1 over to that 3.
Very good. I've got to carry the 1 to the next place value, which is the hundreds.
4 and 4 is 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then what?
8 plus 3 is 11.
Okay. I'm going to write down the 1 and carry that 10. Okay, so what's next?
0 plus, I'm going to add the 10.
Okay.
The 11, so there's nothing to add.
So that's 1. Then what?
Add that 1 again.
And then I've got 1 plus nothing again is 1. So 108,382 plus 3,492 is 111,874.
Miss Clinton,
Yes.
on this one, I just looked at the 1 space and I added the 2 to the 2 and I saw that was 4 and I knew you couldn't change that here since you were going up. And I looked at all the things and I saw that only one of them was 4.
Okay. So you just noticed after you added your ones together that the only option with the 4 in the ones place was the first one?
And
Okay.
then on the bottom one, I just did 6 plus 0, or 6 minus 0 was 6, and 4 minus 1 was 3, and then I just kept looking up there and I got the...
So then you knew what the answer was for that one.
I just did it when the first
Okay.
what numbers were at the very end.
Right. I think that's the same thing Christopher was saying. All right, so next we have 93,146, and I'm taking away 7,910. Okay, so just like when we were adding, we've got to make sure that we keep our place values lined up. So the 7 is going to go in the thousands place underneath the 3. What would I do first to solve that, Amy?
6 minus
Okay, what is 6 minus 0?
6.
6 minus 0 is 6. Then what?
1 minus 4.
4 minus 1. And that is
3.
3. Okay. What do I do next?
1 minus 9, but you can't do that, so you're going to put the 3 in the 1,000.
Okay, so that leaves me with 2 thousands. And then what do I do to my hundreds? Okay, so 10 plus the 1 I already have makes 11. So now I have 11 minus 9 is 2. Very good. Okay. Now what?
2 minus 7, but you can't do that, so you have to do
Okay. So that 9 becomes an 8 and the 2 becomes a 12. So now I have 12 minus 7 is, and 8 minus nothing is, very good. So what's my difference or the answer to the subtraction problem? What's that number?
85,000.
Very good. 85,236 is the correct answer.
This is what I was talking about when I did 6 minus 0 is 6 and 4 minus 1. I looked at those and since I saw that it was 36, I looked at the top and I saw 8,500.
Yeah, since it was multiple choice, you could use You didn't actually have to solve the entire problem to find the answer. You're correct.
Somebody walked in while you're doing the first
Okay,
problem.
I know. If they needed me, they would have stopped me, okay?
And then also, I'm gonna move the bottom.
Alright, hang on just a minute, please. Alright, let's look at the next problem. We have a missing arrangement. This time, though, instead of the missing part being at the end, the missing part's in the middle.
That's what confused me. I got this one.
Alright. So we start with a square that has 4 across and 4 down.
Oh, I get it. I did something different.
Then I'm gonna just put 4 by 4. Then we have how many across?
2.
2. And we have 4 down.
So they took away 4.
Okay. Then we have our missing part.
Can I do something?
Then we skip something. Here we have how many across?
1.
1 across. And how many down?
2.
So we have 1 by 2. And then the very last one, we just have 1 across and 1 down. Okay? So, Christopher, what do you think?
What I did is I didn't know it was going down. I thought it was going up. So, and what I saw was I did 1 times 2 is 2.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. And then 8 times 2 is 16.
Perfect. Okay. So, which option did you choose?
I choose option 4.
You chose option 4, which was
4.
2 by 2, or 4 total. Okay, so what Christopher just said is he looked at it, instead of going from biggest to smallest, you looked at it from starting with just the 1. So if you did 1 times 2, that got you to the 2 squares that you had. And then you multiplied that times 2, which got you 4 total squares. Then when you multiplied 4 times 2, that got you to 8 total squares. And then when you multiplied that 8 times 2, that got you to 16 total squares. Okay, very good. So when we describe that pattern, how can we describe it?
Times 2.
Okay, if we go backwards, we're multiplying by 2. But if we go from left to right, what are we doing? Instead, we're doing the opposite of that, which is division. So really, instead of multiplying, what we're actually doing is dividing. So we're dividing the number of squares. Very good. By 2.
I put times 2 on my thing because I didn't realize we were going down.
Yeah, that's okay.
I get confused by that.
Yeah, that's all right. All right. Okay. We've got one more. They give us a number in standard form, and we need to put that number in expanded form and in word form. Okay, so 670,980. Which one's the correct choice, Brayley? The first one. 670,980. How do I put that into expanded form, Caden?
600,000. Wait, oh. Yeah, 600,000.
Jacob, please stop. 600,000 plus 70,000. Then what did you say? Very good. 600,000 plus 70,000 plus 900 plus 80. It's the first choice there. All right, questions on today's daily math?